It's been a controversial issue affecting so many parents, causing confusion and anxiety as kids head back to school. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan.
And I'm Kirsten Holmes. Carlo has the night off. We're talking about masks. And tonight we have some answers for you straight from the experts at Rady Children's Hospital. News 8's Ariana Cohen has our report and new information about the hospital getting ready to test vaccines on kids.
I talked to a local children's doctor who expresses the importance of wearing masks, and he gives new details of COVID vaccine trials for those 12 and younger.
There has definitely been a lot of back and forth between the different government agencies. They don't seem to be able to agree with each other. And then apparently even the CDC has reversed their own course.
Mother of 4 and founder of Let Them Breathe, Sharon McKeeman, says there's confusion about the shifting rules around mask mandates with children. State officials recently decided to let local school districts decide how to deal with students who refuse to follow the state's mask mandate, which has only added to the confusion.
The majority of parents that I know just want their kids to be able to have the choice to unmask.
Not everyone agrees. Dr. Mark Sawyer with Rady Children's Hospital says children need to wear masks at school.
But at school, yes, they need to wear masks. If they're in settings, indoor settings, around other people, they need to wear masks. If they're playing in a park or in their backyard, they don't need to wear masks, and they don't need to wear masks in their household.
Dr. Sawyer says the mask requirement doesn't apply to children younger than age 2.
You know, we have to look after the public health here and to protect everybody.
Dr. Sawyer says COVID vaccine clinical trials have already started for children 12 and younger. He says the next group will be for ages 5 through 11.
And eventually we will be immunizing all the way down to 6 months of age.
Pfizer expects to know how its vaccine performs among kids ages 5 to 11 by the end of September. Moderna could seek FDA authorization in the winter of early next year.
The Delta variant has changed the game, changed the story. We now need to be more careful. The other message is we've gotten into this situation because of unvaccinated people. So it is more important than ever that everybody get vaccinated now.
The coronavirus vaccine won't be available for children under 12 until after school starts. And the group Let Them Breathe has filed a lawsuit against the state of California to end the mask mandate for K through 12 students. Ariana Cohen, News 8.
A new state order will require all California's healthcare and long-term care workers be fully vaccinated. Governor Gavin Newsom says all 2.2 million workers must be vaccinated. Last month, the governor said healthcare workers would have to be fully vaccinated or go through weekly testing. That's changed now. The new mandate does not give them a choice. Healthcare and long-term care workers have until the end of September to comply. We hear about how dangerous fentanyl is all the time, but few have ever seen its full effects. The San Diego Sheriff's Department put out a public service announcement about one deputy's close encounter with the substance.
A couple seconds later, he took some steps back and he collapsed. I ran over to him.
That patrol deputy you saw in the video who collapsed survived his fentanyl encounter with the help of fellow deputies and first responders. Sheriff Bill Gore says fentanyl deaths are up 46% this year. News 8's Richard Allen will have more on this story coming up tonight on the 10 o'clock news and News 8 at 11.
County Sheriff's deputies need your help finding a man who hasn't been seen since last weekend.
Derek Barge was on his way to visit family in Phoenix when he stopped at Dianza Springs Resort near Jacumba Hot Springs. He was last seen there Saturday night when he was reported being extremely disoriented. His keys, wallet, and phone were found abandoned the next day. Derek is 40 years old. You can see him right there, white with blue eyes and blonde hair and about 5'11". If you see him or have any information about finding him, call police.
There's another bike lane controversy, this time in University City, where a proposal would reduce lanes for cars on a popular road.
Now, this comes on the heels of new bike lanes in North Park that for months pitted cyclists against business owners. The arguments there centered around rider safety and the need for parking spaces, but in UC, there are other worries.
In this Your Stories report, News 8's Steve Price takes a closer look at the project and explains why neighbors are upset.
It's called a traffic calming plan, and supporters here in University City say it will slow down traffic here on Governor Drive, making this safer for pedestrians and bicyclists. But several residents here say that calming plan is actually causing them a lot of anxiety.
Right now, Governor Drive is 4 lanes, 2 in each direction. But the plan currently circulating would reduce the stretch of road from Stressman to Radcliffe to just 2 lanes, 1 in each direction. And that extra space would be replaced with bike lanes.
This is a situation that really impacts all of South UC.
Ruth DeSantis had no idea this plan was even in the works, and she's the president of the UC Community Foundation.
There was no community outreach or an opportunity for the community to give input, and that was everyone's great concern.
Another organization, the UC Planning Group, voted unanimously in June to approve the idea, but take a look at their agenda. Item 7 simply says street restriping as a traffic calming measure on Governor Drive. Nothing about reducing lanes, nothing to attract attention. Ruth says a community member at the meeting started sounding the alarm.
And what a lot of people are worried about is in the event of a wildfire or an earthquake, reducing our ingress and egress, not only for us, but for emergency personnel.
We're very excited for this project.
Jacob Mandel with the San Diego Bike Coalition says reducing traffic lanes on Governor is long overdue.
The speeds along that street are way too high. Residents in the community meeting admitted that they speed along that street because of the design.
Mandel says they're hoping for a design similar to this one downtown, where parked cars create a buffer of protection for the bike lanes, which are only on one side of the street but twice as wide. He says it'll make Governor safer for drivers, bicyclists, and pedestrians. At first, the traffic calming plan was going to start moving forward right away. But a quick, huge outcry from residents has convinced the district city council member to tap the brakes.
There is time for us to talk about it, do more outreach to the community, show them exactly what we're talking about, hear their issues, and respond to them.
Councilman LaCava says to allow for proper notification and input, there will be no changes until late 2022 at the earliest. In University City, Steve Price, News 8.
Sample ballots are being mailed out for next month's gubernatorial recall election. The sample ballots are a lot like those used in a normal election, but there are a few differences. For example, people must vote yes or no on if Newsom should be recalled. More than 50% of voters will need to vote yes in order for the recall to move forward. If Newsom is recalled, the candidate with the most votes will finish out the last 12 months of his term. 41 candidates are on that ballot.
A warning from people living in City Heights who say thieves are taking catalytic converters right out of their cars.
Yeah, it's something we've told you about before. Toyota Priuses are a main target. Hilda Guinea says that thieves targeted her neighborhood earlier Monday, and it was all caught on camera. She says she didn't notice her car was hit until that afternoon when a neighbor told her to check her car after his Prius was also targeted. She says her insurance won't cover the loss because she was told it's considered vandalism. Now she's stuck with a nearly $4,000 bill.
It is frustrating for anyone who, we are in this pandemic and we are not making the money we used to make.
Guinea says she called the police and is still waiting for them to come and take that report. And as dozens of wildfires burn across the state tonight, the Dixie Fire has exploded in the last 24 hours, wiping out a mountain town that dates back to the gold rush era.
A San Diego fire rescue team is there helping to fight the fire and sent us this video from inside the front lines. Anthony Pirro shows us what's left of the town of Greenville in Plumas County.
It's an apocalyptic scene in the California gold rush era town of Greenville. Block after block, all that's left are skeletons of charred buildings, shells of burned vehicles, only chimneys where homes once stood, and scarred landscape. The Dixie Fire wiped out nearly every structure in town, including the post office and library, in just a matter of hours Wednesday night.
Hitting here, hitting there, hitting on top of the hill up there. It was unbelievable. This place was so lit up.
The fire is now the 6th largest in state history, scorching more than 500 square miles, or an area about the size of the city of Phoenix, Arizona.
And with all the fires happening around this region, it's kind of hitting us from all sides.
Officials say people refusing to obey evacuation orders are slowing down the firefighting effort.
We have firefighters that are getting guns pulled out on them because people don't want to evacuate. And this is what happened yesterday when our resources come in and they have to load up people in their vehicles, in their fire vehicles, and put them into a safe spot. That takes us away from fighting the fire.
Red flag weather conditions coupled with bone-dry vegetation are fueling the flames. More than 20,000 firefighters are battling 97 wildfires in 13 states. The fires so large you can see them from space. Anthony Pura, CBS News.